Welcome to episode 100. I am so excited to be here and to share what it's been like to podcast through 100 episodes. If you are new here, welcome. I am so excited that you are here. Hola, hola. Thank you so much for being here. This is episode 100. This has been so hard to get to, let me tell you. Podcasting is a roller coaster ride. If you are thinking about podcasting, I highly suggest that you start as soon as possible. This medium is growing so much, and I've learned so much from this process, honestly. It has been very difficult at times to keep to a schedule. And if you have been here since the beginning, thank you so much. I have had a whole lot change throughout the last 3.5 years that I started podcasting. My very first podcast episode was in September of 2020. And actually, episode 3 is my very favorite episode. I talk a little bit about how I grew up, how just my story, how it started about, around money. And I think what's really interesting about that story is that a lot of us grow up in homes that money is just not talked about. And if it is, it's like hush hush. It's like a secret, when in reality, we should be telling everybody about the benefits of managing money well. There is so much I wish I would have learned sooner. And I just feel like podcasting was something that I had crossed my mind back like in 2018. And then things got really tough because my mom passed away in 2018. So I kind of put it in the back burner. And then 2019 came around and I was really focused on my business again. And it took a while to actually learn how to do it. And I took a course online, because it cost me several $100s to do. And I learned everything. I had no idea how to do any of it. So there is a lot we can learn. There's a lot of skills that I'm constantly learning. And, one of the benefits of podcasting is that it pushes you. It pushes you outside of your comfort zone. I had to learn to speak a little better. It was interesting because if you listen to the first couple episodes, I stutter a lot. I had to edit a lot out of it. And now it's like I can go minutes, a long time, 5-10 minutes without editing anything. And it just takes practice. And the audio, there's so much I've learned about technical stuff, the audio that I had back then, the mic I had back then, all of that has changed and evolved. And technology gets so much better with the years. And so I've had to upgrade things like my mic, like my headphones. I have a Rodecaster Pro that helps me with the audio and making sure that it's clear. And I'm incorporating new things recently. I got a podcast studio online that helps me do interviews. There's a lot to this, but it's been so fun. It's been so awesome because it's given me the opportunity to see that there's value in this media form. I've been able to attend several conferences about podcasting where I've learned a lot of tips and tricks that I was able to come and apply here. And honestly, one of the biggest things is I was able to make money. And that was really nice because although I have my full-time job, it was really nice to make extra money because I was part of a podcast network for a while, for a long time, right? For almost 2 years of my podcast journey, which has been a little over 3 years. So it took me 1.5 years to get with the podcast network. And I've now left the network, but it was a lot of learning because I got to see like I could do this. I could do this on my own. I could make the money directly. I can contact advertisers myself. I don't need a middleman. Now, is there a benefit to being in a podcast network? Absolutely. You get a lot of visibility. You learn a lot from other peers that are doing the same thing, which is awesome. But there's also downfalls. And I don't think they're that bad. The podcast network does take a cut from all the advertising, which is fine because you are not dealing with the clients directly. It's all kind of filtered through the podcast network, which is great. But some of the challenges that I came across were risky to my business. And I just thought it would be better to leave the network. And so if that's something that you've been thinking about or interested in, like, feel free to DM me. I'll give you all the details. I don't like to gatekeep anything. I am an open book. You ask me a direct question, I might answer it. So I think that this has also helped me with developing like just my mindset. It has really helped me like push through really tough times. This is where I came when I was having a hard time after like a podcast event. I came to the podcast and I was like, this is what happened. I think this was like back in 2022 when I was having a hard time after a podcast event. Yeah, it's just been a place where I can share who I am, what my struggles are, how I was able to get out of debt, and hopefully inspire you all to live that lifestyle, which is really hard. Because I'm not going to lie, getting out of debt and staying out of debt has been very difficult. Raising children that are responsible with money is very hard. Although we try to set the example, I've had to share in the episode called It's Hard Being a First Gen Latina. I shared how I actually told my son, you need to take out student loans. And that was really hard because here I am preaching that staying out of debt is the wisest thing to do. Unfortunately, we don't have the means to continue supporting my son through college. We were able to help him throughout the first 2 years of his school. And then once he got into his junior year, we weren't able to support him anymore. And that was very difficult. But it is what it is. I think that he's learned a lot from us, and I think he can get out of debt pretty quickly. He's also working. He's very responsible. So I think that there's more to living a debt-free lifestyle. It's not a sin. I think that a lot of us that grew up or heard the Dave Ramsey way feel like, oh, debt is a sin. It is not a sin. There's a lot of struggles as a first gen that philosophy just does not align with us. And that's the truth. Now, is there a lot that I can apply to my life? Yes, but not everything. And that has been a journey, because if you hear the first couple episodes, like 1 through like 50, I am gung-ho, like, don't do debt, period. Like, there's no option, blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of see the journey, right? Where I've had to shift. I've had to coach myself. I've had to reach out to other people that know more than I do, to help me, to guide me, to give us some wisdom in our family when we needed it. I would sit with my CPA and I would talk to him about, hey, here's our financial situation. He's also our financial planner and he helps us invest our money. And there's a lot. I still don't know half of this stuff. I know how to budget. I can teach you how to budget like nobody's business. There's just so much to this financial services realm. And everybody has a different experience. Everybody has different means. And honestly, when I first got on this mic, our family together did not earn six figures. We were able to get out of debt without earning six figures. I mean, I'm talking about collectively as a family. We did not earn six figures. Is it difficult? Yes. It is difficult to live as a family of four and not make six figures, but it's not impossible. I think a lot of it has to do with organization. A lot of it has to do with what are your goals? And the truth is, there's more to life than making six figures. So this episode, I just wanted to share the amazing growth that has happened throughout these 100 episodes. I may be shifting. I may be growing some more in the next 100. So stay tuned because this journey is really a journey. Like, I don't know what philosophy I'm going to change. Like, I don't know what economic situation is in the horizon that is going to change my perspective, because we believe and our mindset shifts with our life experience. I didn't know that I was not going to have enough money to get my son through college. I thought we were going to be fine. We were going to be fine. But things happened. And we weren't able to. So those are the things that, like, unless it happens to you, unless you have life experience, you really don't know how it's going to work out. Like, you don't have that experience. You don't know what might happen. You don't know what options you have. And that's why this whole journey has been a process, because you believe what your life experience has taught you. And we all do. And was I gung-ho about Dave Ramsey at one point? 100%. I would admit it. I believed everything. But as I started digging and digging and digging, I was like, wait, there's a problem here. He's not talking to us. We aren't the audience. He's talking to the white audience. I'm a Latina. I'm a first gen. Does he know our struggle? No, he can't relate to it. He doesn't know what it's like. He's never had life experience in our shoes. So how do I expect him to teach me with my life experience? Now, again, is there something I can take? Yes. He's not all wrong. He's not. But there are things that just don't align with our lifestyle, with the way we grew up, with our culture. There just isn't. I can't just ignore my family if they're in a hardship, because that's what they tell us. That's how I was trained. I was trained by Dave Ramsey's team. That's not going to happen. So if you are new here or you've been here a long time, thank you so much. It means the world that there is somebody on the other end watching and listening to my experience with money, because we're all on a journey. If there's something that helps you, great. If there's something you want to tell me, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm at debtfree.latina. I want to hear from you. What do you want to learn? What do you want the next 100 episodes to look like? Is there something that I haven't covered here that you want to learn more about? Let me know. Thank you so much again. If you have listened to me up until this point, I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next week.